Sorry, Indian nothing. Oh, signal. Right. Hello, am I audible? Yeah, very good evening. This is Purushothaman. I am the Managing Director of Oodu Implementers. Today we will be just discussing about what is the people generally they are expecting. Generally when we go for an ERP, the people are expecting a kind of an ERP software, or are they looking for some sort of a business solution, right, for the complexity what they have it in the business. So prior to getting into the presentation, let me just quickly give an intro about us. So we started as a chartered accountant firm in 1982. So basically chartered accountant does more of the statutory audits and the tax practice. We started focusing on internal audit and consulting. So later in 90s, when IT also started booming in India, like many people started implementing ERP, then we started acting as a catalyst between the product vendors and the implementers. So any company wanted to go for an ERP, then we prepare an RFP and select the product and select the implementation partner, then go live. So nearly about 2 decades we were doing that kind of a service. So in 2010 we realized that there is no good product available for an SME and MSME sector. Either you have a SAP or Oracle kind of stuff, or you have only kind of a Tally. So then we thought that some alternate that we could find, and that's how that we did an R&D. We found a product called Tiny ERP. So that's how actually you know that original name of Oodu. So we started actually, we are the first Indian partner, partnered with Oodu. In 2010 we started, and that's how that our journey began. Then we are currently the gold partner. So we have 14 plus years of experience and overall about 30 plus years of experience in the ERP segment. We are the first silver partner and as well as the gold partner in India. Currently we have about 60 plus consultants, and we have completed almost 80 plus enterprise implementations, including community, more than about 150 implementations we did, headquartered in Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, and we are the member of BOP. BOP is the best Oodu partner, where it's a kind of an alliance, BOP alliance, so where only one person from the country that they can actually represent, and we are representing from India. Through them in fact we can implement almost for 60 plus countries anywhere in the world, whether you name it like China, Brazil or Italy or wherever it is. In fact we have the partner, through them in fact we can implement, and we got the best partner award in 2023 as well, and in last 7 years 5 times that we have been nominated, and last 23 years we have been nominated for the best partner award consecutively. So 23, 24, and this year also we got nominated, and we are waiting for the results. Probably in September that we will be knowing. So this is the award that we won in Belgium. So what typically that the topic we are discussing is the Oodu is a mere ERP or even a business solution, right? So generally we talk about ERP, then ultimately that addresses the core business process, right? It addresses all your basic finance and the purchases, inventory, manufacturing, and little bit of HR. So what the modern solution tool that in fact they typically they expects. So they need a more of a comprehensive integration to all their business needs. I think morning also the Fabian would have actually told about there are multiple apps are required to run any kind of a successful business, right? In a way that in fact Oodu, it is almost providing all sort of an apps by which in fact it is a more of a comprehensive solution what it actually provides. So the not only with the data, the people need to analyze the data, and for that certain intelligence also it's required. So through dashboards and maybe the latest AI, definitely it may support, and the software should enable the entire digital transformation strategy of the kind of the customer. So what they are expecting. So in that case, like Odoo, yes, it's having an advantage like e-commerce, marketing, CRM or project management, HR, whatever the thing that you talk about, nearly about 70 plus apps are available and very much that we can use. So when you talk about the kind of modularity and customization, and especially Odoo with the other competitors even like SAP or Oracle, if you look at it, so Odoo in fact stands in terms of the all major key areas. Whether you talk about the customization or a deployment or the implementation time frame, so where the Odoo scores well, and that is where in fact again the Odoo where you can actually use it in all sort of segments. It's not only for the large scale, whether you can use it for startups, you can actually any growing SMEs. So as and when they wanted to add any kind of an apps, that also that you can use the mid market and even the enterprise customers. So where having that entire full fledged in terms of the suite, we call it as like right from the CRM to even the support, field services, including everything that in fact where the Odoo can be deployed. So I am not going to talk about much in terms of the Odoo. I think last 2 days that in fact we are hearing and on the various sessions. So how the Odoos are getting really implemented in a few of our customer place, and what is the benefit in fact what they are getting. So let's just discuss about it, because many probably you may be having like customers and also maybe the partners. So when we go and try to sell, what is that in fact we are selling? Are we selling Odoo or are we selling some solution to their business pain points, right? So my talk is always on the, because from the consulting and auditing background, so we always actually look at the what is the problem that they are facing and what is the solution that we can actually give it, and the solution tool can be like Odoo. So that's how that we propose. So we don't sell like, okay, I'll come and I'll implement Odoo. That is not a sales that we will do, right? So we need to understand what is their actually pain points and how this tool can help you to address all those pain points and make your life easy. So I'll explain with a few of the customer case studies. Actually, this one is the customer who is actually implemented already Oracle, and they are the printing machinery manufacturing. When I talk about the printing machinery manufacturing, that each machine is having about more than about nearly about 7,000 to 10,000 items will go into one particular machine, right? So the always the challenge is that the customer, it's a long lead time item, because generally just like that in fact it's not the off the shelf product, and whenever the customer orders, then there are certain things that they may have to customize it and they need to do it, and it's not a make to order also, and it is not a make to stock also, right? Because I can't make the ready made printing machine and straight away give it, but at the same time I cannot start actually procuring the material once the customer is ordered. So in between in fact we discussed with them and we made it as a more of an assemble to order kind of a concept. So what is assemble to order? There are certain components where in fact I have already prepared and I would have kept it ready, and whenever the which model that the customer is actually selecting, accordingly then I modify and I deliver it. So in that case, earlier they were having lot of problems, what material they have, what level that they need to stock, and whether which material that I need to go for a reorder level based on the MTOs, or there are certain components where they wanted to make it as a more of a make to stock item, because something that some of the material they need to collect from the basic raw material, then they have to process and they have to keep it as a component. So from the component they do it. And moreover, printing machinery, suppose it's again a capital machinery item, if you are having about, if you would have sold about even 5 years or 10 years back, still you have to supply the spares. So that is one of the condition, right? Probably you would have actually changed the model, but still that in fact where we may have to supply the spares. So earlier the problem is again the spare management, which model that in fact I have already sold it in the past, and what spares it may go off, and what is the spare level that I need to keep it. And again they were using a different systems. So for the pre-sales CRM they were using a different application, and the core they were using about more of an Oracle, and the post sales, in fact, they were using a different applications. Again, because once they suppose any machinery breakdown or something like that, somebody is claiming, then again they need to allocate the service engineer, go to the site and to do the services. For that, in fact, they were maintaining a different application. So integration was not there much, and they were actually juggling with lot. And MRP they couldn't run. So these are all the challenges. So when we go there, when we talked about all, we understood all the challenges, then we gave a complete solution through Oodu. So now that all the apps, in fact, we replaced the Oracle, we replaced the pre-sales CRM and as well as the post-sales service. So today, the moment, in fact, they punch, even the entire systems, that it automatically triggers the manufacturing and it checks the raw material availability, and if it is not, then automatically it is placing the order. And even though we supplied, and the installation, commissioning, and again the post sales and service, everything, in fact, it has been addressed through this. So this is one case, in fact, where we migrated. The other case is the very leading garment manufacturer. They have nearly about more than about 160 plus distributors across India, and they have a lot of retail, more than about 3,000, 4,000 retail they are having. The major challenge, in fact, in a garment, probably you may be knowing, once you actually sell the material from the plant, right, the inventory goes off. So you don't know, in fact, what is that, in fact, the distributor is having a stock or not, which nobody has the kind of a visibility. So these people, in fact, gives like lot of schemes. Say for example, like in Diwali it comes, then they run some sort of a scheme. So the distributor gets the benefit, but they don't know whether the distributor really passing those benefits to the retailers, which they don't know. Okay, what is the stock that the distributor has? Again, they don't know. As and when only the distributor places an order, these people are know. Otherwise, in fact, absolutely they don't have any visibility to whom that they are actually selling, and at what rate they are selling, right? And they would have actually introduced a lot of new fabrics or models or whatever it is. Again, they are not sure about whether the distributor have really taken those models and reached to the end retailer. Because if the distributor would have not bought, then obviously the retailer also would have not got the material, and they may not be able to decide on whether that whatever the new products which they have launched, it's a very successful one or not. So this is the challenge, in fact, they came out, right? So then what we discussed is with the client, and we have implemented that Oodu for all the 165 distributors in one single database. So that means the moment when they dispatch any kind of an inventory as a sale to the distributor, then automatically the inventory goes and sits in the distributor inventory location, right? So again, we have given that entire portal. So the retailer will be placing an order to the distributor, and the moment, in fact, the distributor dispatches and raises the invoices, then automatically the inventory goes down. And once the inventory goes down at the distributor places, then again automatically the reorder, based on the reorder point, then again the indent is getting triggered to the manufacturing locations, right? So now sitting it in one single place across 165 locations, so the people, they can see what is the inventory it's available, so which retailer has placed order to which distributor, so what is the rate that in fact he is selling, and whether all the schemes or whatever it is which they are passing, whether it has been passed on to them, everything that they are able to monitor. Even because the distributor does the more of a cash and carry business, suppose they have some any kind of a funds problem, then again they may not be actually ordering it, right? So this also now it's visible. Sometimes, in fact, without that, earlier they may not be able to question the distributor. Now they are able to question the distributor, saying that these are all the products that you don't have, but why you have not placed an order? Even without asking them, now these people are started shipping, right? So this is the actually solution what actually we given. So next case, again it's one of the leading pump manufacturing company. So pump manufacturing is typically it is a combination of the process manufacturing as well as the discrete manufacturing. So again, as you know, the foundry, it is a different completely, it's a process, right? They put that some metals and they burn, and in fact finally we are getting that casting. Then from the casting I do more of many things and doing an assembly, and finally I get the kind of a pump. So till it is the casting it comes out, it is more of a process manufacturing, but once the component is there, casting is there, then converting into a machinery, then it becomes a more of a discrete manufacturing. So earlier they are not having a proper software, and they are using only a kind of a tally. Then in fact there is a lot of difficulty in terms of collecting the data, and they don't know what is the cost of the particular component, right. So again, as you know that once you started actually using tally, then obviously even for each and everything that you have to ask the your accountant to get the P&L or some sort of an MAS and all the sort. So here in fact what we have done is we have enabled the Anglo-Saxon with the automated inventory valuation. So the cost of goods sold is you can actually capture. So they are able to identify the pump, even the model wise, what is the cost which in fact I am spending, what is the cost which I am selling, so what is the margin that I am getting, so the wastage analysis, everything that in fact I am in a position to get it. So for that again I do not need to now ask for any kind of an accountant. So it's a Oodu is having everything in an app, so that they can see the real time P&L and also all the MASs in terms of the receivables, payables, what is the balance, everything that in fact which they can track. So another case, probably I do not know how many people have attended the morning session, and one of the customer success story also. This is a very interesting case. These people in fact they manufacture lens, it's a kind of an intraocular lens, as well as the ophthalmology equipment products like microscopes and everything that they actually produce. So their challenge is each lens is more of a it's a serial number based. So it like because they almost produce nearly about 1 lakh lens per day, right, and it has everything, it has to be like more of a serial numbered, because once you plant it in the like any patient's thing, then any kind of an irritation, again they wanted to backtrack. So what is the raw material, what is the batch in fact I used, so everything that in fact I need to backtrack. So the serial number becomes a kind of a big challenges for them, and they are the major player almost across pan India, nearly having about all the states, almost like 33 states they have their actually their presence. Because with the GST again it has to be kind of a different company like GST treatment, because each and every unit whatever it is I am transferring, it is more of a purchase and sales kind of scenario that I need to handle. So this was again it's a kind of a big issue. So what we have done is we have configured the Oodu across, even including the production and as well as the sales environment. Now all the 33 entities like with the GST entities are in single thing, and they are having almost 500 salespersons. 500 salespersons like where users are using the Oodu. So all the complexities got addressed. And of course you may be also using, like in fact this is our own case. So we are running a consulting and auditing company as well as the Oodu implementers. So we do have a challenges, right, like what is the projects that we are getting, how many of our resources are going, how many hours that this particular project managers are spending on this particular client, right. So what is the ultimate cost that I spent on the client, and what is the income that I generated from the client, and I wanted to know client wise profitability. So earlier also we are also having only a kind of a tally. What you know is it's only kind of a just an income and expenditure and a P&L statements, right. We may not be able to get the kind of a project wise profitability. So the moment when we started actually the enterprise started coming, and we also started actually implementing it in all our clients' place. So we know that exactly what is the amount that we are getting, so where the clients are going, because it's mostly we do more of an on-site, and the timesheet is enabled, the project is created, and the attendance and payrolls are integrated with that. So without 7 hours in fact they may not be able to even approve the timesheets. So they have to mandatorily enter for about 7 hours. So when they are entering hours, then it has to be against the project. So the moment they against the project, that means then I know the kind of a cost. So like this today I know that in fact the entire project wise profitability. So ultimately this solves my kind of the problem what in fact I have. So this is also a kind of a very leading government sector. It's a state government and central government company. It's a metro rail company. So where they were again having about just a kind of an tally earlier. So various stations, they collect a lot of money, and in fact they also building the stations, right? They also spend a lot of money on that. Nearly about 20,000 crore outlay. So that's a kind of a very big volume, and where most of the companies or the big metro stations are in fact going with a kind of an alternate product like SAP, and this company decided to go with Oodu, and the last 7 years in fact they are successfully using it. So they said that in fact when I get the 1/10 of the price of what the competitors are offering under the same solution where I am able to get, then why I should go for the other SAP. So they took a bold decision and they used it. The other interesting case is sweets and bakery products. They have actually about 5 outlets, and moreover in fact they get a lot of kind of corporate orders. For example, when the Diwali comes, so the Hyundai may be ordering about 2 tons of sweets, right, and with a mixture of savories, and they'll also give kind of a lot of combo. The first row should be your all milk sweets, and the second row should be your all kaju sweets, and with the various combinations. So just imagine when the corporate companies, nearly about 200 companies placing an order with such a huge volume of 100 tons, because they have about nearly about 5,000 employees, 10,000 employees, right. So for them, everybody, they wanted to give a kind of a sweet box. So to produce that kind of a massive volume, the planning is very, very important, and the kind of raw material availability, what is that that I should buy. Suppose even I buy a kind of a cashew, it goes into multiple products. When I buy a sugar, it goes into multiple products. So what is the quantity of flour that I need to buy, right? So they have a bakery, they have actually savory section, they have a sweet section, and so currently they were having a lot of challenges in terms of the raw material planning, production, monitoring, how much it goes into the wastage, because it's all having an expiry product. I cannot keep it for a month or something like that. So maximum 3 days, 4 days, and again the sweet I need to deliver on time, because everybody will be asking on the same just before Diwali, right. So it's not that something, okay, 1 month back I can start dispatching, it's not possible. So I need to store it, I need to plan it, so which material that I need to produce first, which material that or a product that I should produce last. So all those complexities are there. So we have given the solution for them, and today the moment in fact when they just punch a kind of a sale order to those from the company, the system does the entire planning. So system says that, okay, this is a kind of a quantity of sugar that you need, this is a flour that you need, and the system is automatically creating a production order, whether it is a sweets or a kaju sweets or a bakery items or a savories. So this is a kind of a real solution that once we started giving, then automatically the people started loving about it, right. So as I said, this is only a kind of a tool that we are actually using as a Odoo, and to solve the kind of a problem. So my just one thing is, like, instead of talking about that, okay, where we go and implement a kind of an ERP, don't do that. Instead you say that, okay, I am here to solve your problems, right. So once we approach that way, the client also likes, and in fact they will also stick to us. So that's how that in fact where we are able to get so many clients, and these are all the various brands that in fact which we worked. Whether you talk about manufacturing, whether it is trading, it's a sweet stall or a bakery or any service organization. Yes. So this is all some international customers. With this, I'm ending my presentation. So obviously, as I said, primarily everybody comparing the cost, right. So ultimately that has to solve their business problems, okay. When you talk about that ERP, there are 3 tiers generally we talk about. Tier 1 ERP, then there can be a tier 2 ERP and tier 3 ERP. Tier 1 ERP, like all the big names, S4HANA or maybe the Microsoft, Oracle, it's for the large companies, where you can only talk about in crores of implementations, like in whether you, okay. So, the other tier 2, even you can name Oodu. Oodu is also getting actually giving a tough fight to tier 1, but still Oodu is considers as a tier 2 product only because of the modularity and the cost, affordability, and again they do not have a kind of a big brand name as of now, even though they are doing a lot of exercise, but still when you talk about compare with SAP or Oracle, again the brand is not there, right. So, Oodu plays there. Then there are other thing is the tier 3 product, which is a product owner and implementers are same. So, where I would have developed for one particular industry, where I come and I actually involve and I deploy, but what happens if something goes off with that company, again you do not have a kind of an alternate, right. So, based on the fitment, ultimately what we see is the business fitment, whether what is that in fact the business requires, whether should I only go for a tier 1 or a tier 2 or tier 3, it is not like that. So, what is the fitment, what is the roadmap, okay. So, based on which in fact you select a product and select an implementer and go live. If you have any questions. Thank you so much. If you have anything, then we can meet offline.